Alright, so I've got this Altoids Tin Survival Kit that I put together for the article I'm writing at survivalistprepper.net, and I'm going to give this away to one of the winners. But what this is, I'll just kind of take it apart here and show you what it is. I wrapped the outside with paracord because it just takes up, I wanted about 3 or 4 feet, and it takes up so much room on the inside. Just figured this was nice and easy. You can throw it in your pocket, or something that's, these tins are great because they're really portable. They come in different sizes too. You can get something small like this, or a bigger one like I have in my bug out bag my bug out bag. Just a bunch of different sizes. Altoids tins though are everywhere. That's why they're so great, and they're kind of incognito too. Well, when it's wrapped in paracord it's not, but just a tin like this or something might be pretty incognito. This one I use for making char cloth, and what it is, you just put some cotton in here, and all it is one hole that I put in the top, and you put this on a heat source, a fire, and what it does is doesn't allow much air in there, so it burns the cotton, but it doesn't completely burn it. And I'll show you once we open this up what it looks like. But there's a lot of different things you can do with this, a lot of different ideas. It's basically your needs. But what I did was, let me see if I can get this undone here. See if I remember how I did it. Okay. Take this cordage off. Like I said, it's a good amount of cordage, and this is 550 paracord as well, so it's got the strands on the inside. But what I did was wrap the outside with some electrical tape. No reason it's white other than that's what I had. But if I were keeping this tape, I would probably try to wrap it around something. But I'm going to give this away, and I'm not going to put used tape on there. I'll put some new stuff on. But you can see there's quite a bit of tape here. And then as we open this up, I'll try to keep this organized. You can see that it's loaded in there. I've got this little pen right here, which is supposed to be a tactical pen. It's actually pretty sharp on the front right there. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't know how much damage you can do with this. And with the pen being out right there, you'd probably hurt yourself a little bit more. But pretty cool. It's got a flashlight on it, but right now the battery's dead. But that's okay because I have this flashlight in there as well. And this one is pretty, I mean, it's not the greatest, but you're looking at something this size. It's going to be, when it's dark out, it's going to be, at least it's going to be something. So, and again, I've got the toilet paper tablet, or the towel tablet, which I showed in one of my other videos, and basically you get this wet and it turns into this kind of a towel right here, this fabric, used for, for whatever you need it for. Keeping yourself clean. Then I've got a little multi-tool. This is actually a Keychain Multi-Tool. They have dime micros, whatever you can get to fit. This one's cool though. It's got the screwdriver, the knife, little knife, all of that. Just something that's neat, easy fits. And then let's see, I've got a couple different things here. I've got some wire for snare traps, and I've got this kit from Preppenstein Designs. And you can find these on Wazoo Survival. They're the stuff that Eric puts in his paracord belts. This has got a couple of pins in there, safety pins in there. It's got a couple of hooks, sinkers, and some fishing line. And then along with some snare wire right here, I could get some stuff done that way. I've got some char cloth, some cotton, and a couple of weatherproof matches, strikes anywhere matches. And then, like I said, with the char cloth, a little piece ripped off. But that's basically the char cloth, is just a cotton shirt that's burnt almost to the point where it's gone, but it's going to ignite a lot quicker. And then what else we got in here? I've got some Advil and some Imodium, because diarrhea is no laughing matter. And if you have diarrhea, you'll need a couple of these tablets right here. But then I've got some Advil, some painkillers. I've got some Aqua Mirror tablets, because you can't carry around a water filter in one of these. So a couple of these tablets are nice and small. I've also got in here a ferro rod, or magnesium stick, and a striker. This is going to be pretty tough to use because there's not really a way to grip it. But in a pinch, if you need something, it's going to be there. I've got some alcohol prep pad and alcohol prep pad, and a good fire starter as well, or a good help with fire. Some antibiotic ointment, a couple of band-aids, and you know, I hesitate to put the band-aids in. The only reason I did is because they're nice and small, but for a cut this small, it's probably not going to be much to worry about at all, but I put them in there anyway. I've got a P38 can opener in there basically because it's small, and because you know, I'm not going to be having any canned food on me, but you never know when you might run across something like that, and be good to have just in case. You know, you might never need it, but it's one of those things that you'll be glad you had it if you need it. Just a straight razor right here for a bunch of different things. You know, if the knife on this thing, if it happens to go dull, which it probably will pretty quickly. And then I've got a small mini SD card that like goes in your cell phone. And this, I'd rather have these than the USB port because they're a little bit smaller, and I think my odds of finding a cell phone or charging a cell phone, if I have a solar charger or something like that, my odds are going to be better doing that than finding something that has power that I can plug a USB into. I could be wrong, who knows, but I kind of like these. And this has family pictures, important documents, you know, survival guides, how to filter water, stuff that might be useful in a situation like that. I've also got a couple vials, small vials of potassium permanganate, which I've done a video on in the past. You can check that out. This is good for purifying water. It's good for disinfecting wounds if you use it the right way, and also starting fire if you happen upon some automotive fluids like transmission fluid or brake fluid. The video I did with this is with brake fluid, and it works pretty well. And then finally in here, let me see if I can pull this out. I've got a credit card knife. It fits just barely in there. And a credit card knife, for those of you that don't know, this is one that's already opened. You just kind of fold the knife over that way, fold that in and fold that in, and you've got yourself a knife. This is pretty sharp to begin with, but I wouldn't expect it to be useful for very long. None of this stuff is going to be heavy duty or hard duty stuff. This is just to kind of get you through in a pinch. One last thing that I forgot to mention was I do have some paper in here. It's all weather paper. Let's see, there you go. It's all weather paper, and you can write on it whatever you need. If you need family phone numbers, emergency phone numbers, stuff like that, that just goes right in there. There's a bunch of different things I had to weigh what I wanted in there and what I didn't. A compass, I figured I wouldn't put a compass in there because I'm pretty good at orienteering. There's like this little multi-tool right here, could have went in there, but like I said, this thing was so jam-packed that I really had to decide what I wanted and what I didn't. So this will go to the lucky winner. I'll leave the link to the article below, and we'll be doing contests like this later on in the future too. So if you haven't, go ahead to subscribe to our channel and get updates for that. That way you can join in on the contest. But good luck everyone, and we'll talk to you later.